Alright guys, so we're going to start on our first project here, and this is going to be a basic website, but it's going to have some dynamic functionality. It's going to have a contact form that submits to a database. We're also going to pull those messages out of the database. We're going to look at routing, blade templates, things like that, controllers, models. So what I'm going to do here is in my htdocs, in my server, we're going to just do a composer, create project, Laravel / Laravel, and then we'll call it basic website. Okay, and that's going to generate a Laravel project for us. Alright guys, so the application is now generated, so I'm going to open up my text editor, which is Atom, and we're going to just add a project folder, and we're going to choose that basic website folder in the htdocs directory. Alright, so this is the structure for a Laravel application. Now it's changed a little bit since earlier versions of it. Instead of having a routes file, there's actually a routes folder, and web.php is where we supply our main routes. Alright, but before we get into anything, let's add a virtual host entry for this site. So you want to go to your Apache folder, conf extra, and then the vhost file, and I'm just going to copy this. We did that in the introduction section, and then let's change this to htdocs / basic website / public. All right, and then the server name, let's just say basic website.dev. All right, so we'll save that, close it up, and then we want to edit the host file. For that, we need to run a text editor in administrator mode if you're in Windows. So I'm going to search for Notepad and just do a run as administrator. Alright, and then you want to just open up C drive, Windows, System32, drivers, etc, and let's show all files, and we want to open up hosts. And then in here we just want to do 127.0.0.1 and then basic website.dev. Okay, we'll save that, and let's restart Apache. Okay, and then let's go to basic website.dev, and there it is. Alright, so as I was saying, that this is the main routes file. You can see that the slash here, it's just loading up, slash, which is the home page, is just loading a view called welcome. And the views are in resources views, and you can see there's a welcome.blade.php. Blade is the template engine that Laravel uses by default, and this is what you're seeing here. Okay, it actually has all the styling within the markup here, and then here's the content that you see here. So we're not going to use any of this. What we're going to do is create a new home.blade.php file and use that as our home page. And we also want to create a layout so that we don't have to repeat, all this crap, the head tags, body tags. That stuff's going to be on every view. So we want a layout that's going to just that we can extend that will have that stuff. So let's go to the routes, web.php in the routes. And for the home page, we can do whatever we want here. If we want to say return 123 and we save that and reload, it's just returning 123. You can load templates for our views from here like it was loaded in the welcome view, but you don't usually want to do that. What you want to do is call a controller method and then load the view from there. You don't really want to have any logic in your routes, okay? But for now, that's going to be fine, okay? But we'll change it later. So what I'll do is create some view files here in resources views. Let's say new file, and we'll call this one actually let's do home first. So home.blade.php. All right, then we'll create another one called about.blade.php. Let's create another one called contact.blade.php. So those are the three pages that we'll be using. All right, now in home.blade.php, let's just go ahead and put in, we'll just put an H1 and we'll say home. Okay, save that. And then if we go back to our route file, just like they did with the welcome view, we can just put in here home. And if we go and reload, you'll see it's going to give us that home view. And then if we were to copy this, paste that in twice, and then this one will say /about, and that's going to load the about view. And then this one will be /contact, and that will load the contact view. Okay, so we'll save that. Now this right here, get is specifying the type of request. So when you just visit a web page, you're making a get request to the server. So this is handling get request to this route or this URL. If this were a post request, for instance, submitting a form to add some data to the server, you would do route post. And you can use the same route with different request types, okay? But for now, we're just dealing with get. All right, and now let's go to about.blade, and we'll just put an H1 here and just say about, and then same with contact. All right, so now if we go to /about, we get the about template, and /contact, we get the contact template. All right, when I say template and view, I mean the same thing really. Now, if we look at the source code, it's just an H1. There's no HTML tags or head or body tags, so we need to add those. But I don't want to repeat it in every single one of these views. So what we'll do is create a layout. So in the views folder, we're going to create a new folder called layouts. And then we're going to create a new file called app.blade.php. Okay, so this is going to be our main layout. So let's put in just some basic HTML tags. We'll put a title. Let's just say, actually, let's just call this Acme. And then in the body, where we want to render all of our templates, we want to do a yield. So we want to do this @ sign, and then we want yield, and we want to yield the content. All right, so we'll save that, and then let's go to our view files, for instance, home.blade.php, and we want to extend that layout. All right, so we can say @extends, and then we can actually just do layouts.app. So what this is doing here, it's going to look for a folder in the views folder called layouts, which we have, and then a file called app.blade.php, which we have. All right, so if I save that and we just go back to the home view, we see the H1, but if we look at the source code with a Control U, you'll see that it's outside of the actual markup from the layout. So to put that inside here, we want to put it in the content section, okay? Because if we go back to our layout, we're yielding content. All right, so let's go back to our home. And what we'll do is do an @section. Section is going to be content. All right, and then we'll just go down here, and then we just need to end the section. All right, so now if we save that and reload the source code, you'll see the H1 is now where it's supposed to be within the body tags. All right, and we want to do this for all of our views. We want to extend layout and then put the section. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, and then we'll just change that to about. Contact, same thing. Okay, so now all of our views will have that that wrapper, that layout. Okay, you can see that's included. All right. Now let's say we wanted a sidebar here. What we could do is go to our layout file, and in here, let's see, we'll just go right under the yield for now, and let's say @section, and this section is going to be sidebar. Okay, and let's see, we want to, actually, you know what, we don't have to end it. So we just want to go right under it, and let's put in a div. We'll give it a class of sidebar, and we'll say this is the sidebar. And let's actually put an H3 right here. All right, so let's save that. Now if we go back to, let's say, the home page, you can see this is the sidebar, and this is going to be on every page. So if we go to About, you'll also see it. Now we can append to this if we want on individual pages. So if we go back to the home page, let's go ahead and go under this section, and we're going to do again at section sidebar, and then we're going to do end section. So if we save that, okay, we get the same thing. Now let's go back to the layout, appblade.php, and we just want to go right under here and say at show. Okay, and then let's go back to home.blade.php, and in here we'll put a paragraph. We'll say this is appended to the sidebar, and we'll save that and reload. And now since we did that, the original sidebar is not showing, it's just the appended. So in order to show the parent, we just need to say at parent. And now if we reload, the sidebar shows and the appended content. Now this appended content should only be on the home page. So if we go to /about, you won't see it. Okay, so it's only on the home page. So that's how we can append to a section. Now some things you may want to put in a partial file or an include. So if we go to our app.blade.php, I want to put the sidebar markup into an include file. So in the views folder, let's create a new folder called inc, and then we'll create a file called sidebar.blade.php. And then what we can do is take this right here and cut it. Actually, let's take that as well, this whole thing, and we'll cut that and then put it in that sidebar file, save that, and then we can just include it here by saying include, and that's going to be in the inc folder. So we want inc dot and then the file name, which is sidebar. So let's save that, and we should get the same exact thing. Alright, so that's an include. So I think that that's a good place to stop. In the next video, we're going to start to add some content. We're going to create a nav bar, and I'm going to show you how to implement Bootstrap as well as Sass. Okay, Sass is a CSS precompiler that allows us to use things like variables and nested styles and all that. And it's really easy to do with Laravel. It's pretty much set up already. We just have to run a few commands. All right, so I will see you in the next video.